So what are the most common, you mentioned a couple of mistakes that you often see, which are the acceptance date is before everybody signed off on the contract. What are other common mistakes that you see?
Another common mistake, so time is of the essence is one. Another common mistake that I've been seeing is normally like in an agreement to sell, the listing agent brokerage will hold the deposit. A lot of brokerages aren't, well, I don't want to say a lot, but some brokerages aren't holding deposits.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's a space on a contract where you can say if their listing brokerage isn't holding the deposit, then who's holding it? The title company, or where's the deposit being held? So
Right.
if I brokerage that I worked with in the past that doesn't hold deposits, and I don't see anything on the space saying that somebody else is holding the deposit, I feel like that's a big issue, because now the buyer don't know where to send their money.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I can just tell them like send it to the listing brokerage, but if they don't hold deposits, it's just like a big mix up. And a lot of times that's from me working with that prior brokerage before, that I know that their broker doesn't hold deposits. It's never like really the agent, because if they knew, it wouldn't have been in the contract, of course.
Right, right. And maybe to that point, agents, new agents don't know to look for those clues in the multiple service, because they're always going to tell you in the multiple listing service if they don't hold it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they should be reading that. And then I'm wondering, you may not come across this, but it's not it's not obvious, like things like the refrigerator, washer, and dryer are not automatically included in the contract,
Right.
or things in the seller's disclosure are not automatically included. So I don't know if you have experienced any issues with that, but that is something I could see agents not knowing and then getting to closing, and that becomes an issue. Whereas a lot of other stuff might not be an issue, but certain things will become an issue. Do you see any other mistakes?
So I have deposit times of the times of the essence, and a lot besides those two things, and like signatures missing.
Yeah.
I think everything else is pretty much and like just them making a ton of mistakes with inspections, because they don't know the process. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's crazy. I have the craziest thing that happened to me not too long ago. I was a conveyancer for the listing agent, and this was his first time getting a listing. We always close buyer deals together. This is his first time getting a listing, and they was negotiating the inspection process, and they literally requested every single thing that was wrong to be repaired. Also have the house repainted. Like they typed everything that came up. They didn't type, they just said repair everything that came up on the attached inspection report. And like all of these things, and his client they signed, and by the time it got to me, it was already done. So I'm
Wow.
like, his seller is furious. So I'm like, it's your job to negotiate. Like, go back and forth. We're not going to do this, but we're going to do that. Like, so just not having that knowledge, it creates unnecessary delays. It creates unhappy clients, and it's just not good. So that's another big thing that I've been seeing. It's just like not on top of the inspection process.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that have low consequences, and then there are other things that have huge consequences. Some things just a matter of filling it out correctly. And then some of it's really just like knowing how to negotiate, what is negotiable, what are the standards,
Right.
and then, how to advise your clients. Like, for example, in Pennsylvania, if you need a termite treatment, that is typically on the seller to do before closing, but any damage is negotiable, unless it comes up on the termite, cert, and then that gets sent to the lender, and then they bring it up, but just knowing kind of like those norms is really helpful. And if you don't know your contracts, you wouldn't know your norms, right?
Exactly.
And you don't know how to deviate from them or how to advise your client. Yeah.